Good day, viewers. Once again, I'm Teacher MD. As information is highly available everywhere, it is essential that you identify the sources of your information. Understanding and verifying the sources of your information establish your credibility. Evaluating where they came from will help you get rid of fake news and other unverified information. Want to know more? Come on, join me and watch this lecture video on sources of information, accessibility, and effectiveness. Basically, there are three major sources of information: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Imagine that you are writing a paper about COVID-19. Can you use a diary entry written by a COVID-19 patient stating his journey through his battle with the virus? How about the patient's video recording on how he documented his routines during the 14-day quarantine until he finally recovered? If your answer is yes, then you're right. Diary entries and video recording are primary documents or sources, which are first-hand documents written by those who experience and or see it at the period of research or the time an event happens. These are original documents. Aside from a diary entry and video recording, there are other examples of primary sources such as artifacts, manuals, interviews, photos, journals, letters, audio recordings, and speeches. Meanwhile, while working, he saw an article analyzing the common symptoms of COVID-19 based on the experiences of the first set of patients as stated in some reports. Can you use it? Yes, and with that, you now have your secondary source. Secondary sources are based on or about the primary source. Here, the author has not personally witnessed what he or she has written. Secondary sources include interpretations, discussions, commentaries, or evaluations of primary sources. To add discussion in your paper, you tried to search for definitions of coronavirus in some dictionaries and other related entries in an encyclopedia. Hence, you are now using tertiary sources that are basically collections of information from primary and secondary sources. Other examples of tertiary sources include bibliographies, chronologies, directories, fact books, indices and abstracts, manuals, guidebooks, and textbooks. Tertiary sources are easier to recognize since they do not offer new information like primary sources, as well as an analysis or interpretation of data like the secondary sources. As those sources provide significant information, it is your duty to check the information in terms of two criteria: accessibility and effectiveness. Accessibility refers to the quality of being easy to find, obtain, and use. If the information is easy to reach and understand, then it is accessible. Meanwhile, effectiveness refers to the degree of being able to achieve the desired result based from their objective or purpose. If the intended information was provided by the source and reached the target audience, then it is effective. Accessibility of information can be classified into four. Text accessibility refers to the arrangement of words for them to be easily accessed. This can be achieved when headings and subheadings in a table of contents are used in presenting the information for the readers to easily locate and understand the information that is being presented. Next is image accessibility that provides additional information about the text or concept. Through the use of images or icons, the readers will not only have an additional idea, but they will also have quick understanding of the content. This will also help those who are better at understanding information through the help of some images. Third is audio accessibility. This can be achieved if the source provides additional information through listening skills. This can be both helpful to people with or without disabilities. Aside from reading the information, one can just listen to the audio descriptions in order to have access with the information. Finally, we have the video accessibility. This is achieved if the source or information provides additional information through listening and viewing skills. The use of captions or transcripts in a material might aid the viewers in understanding the information even if problems regarding the sound of the material arose, or simply if one who wants to have access with the information has this ability. All in all, reviewing the sources of information is essential too. Satisfy the expectations of the academic community you are writing for, especially if it's for academic purposes. Show evidence of wide, informed, and relevant reading. Show that your writing does not rely mainly on personal opinion, especially if you're writing a research paper wherein you are expected to consider other reliable sources of information rather than your own opinion alone. Show the process by which you have arrived at your own conclusions about the topic, and to enable the reader to understand and evaluate the ideas and information you are presenting. Show your ability to integrate material from a range of sources, how you synthesize all the information that you have gathered and used in your paper. Show evidence of an analytical and critical approach to your source material. Enable readers to follow up references or perspectives of particular interest to them. And avoid plagiarism or the act of stealing an information and using it without giving credits to the real source of that information. And that's it for today. Remember the three sources of information: primary, secondary, and tertiary. And do not forget to check the quality of the sources and information that you will use. Also, cite your sources or references every time.